I didn't want to admit it, but lately I've been really struggling with artist block. Life's challenges like grief, endings and new beginnings have made me feel entirely disconnected from my art practice. This week I was determined to tether myself to my art again through tangible acts instead of simply just overthinking. Of course, I wanted to bring you along on the journey, so spend a few days with me as I make my way through this inevitable challenge. So this week's focus is definitely about getting my art and my business back on track. Even though everything I've learned through self-help advice and the artist way is that you cannot really put a timeline on your creativity. You can't force yourself to create art. But what you can make yourself do is something. Anything at all. And I've been stuck in a little bit of a freeze with things and I just want to do something. So I have a little bit of a plan. I've scoped it out in my journal. I spent the morning yesterday at the cafe, just like first thing on Monday, planning things out. Sometimes I do these plans and then straight away afterwards I'm like, I don't have any motivation. I don't know what I was thinking, but we have a plan. So I've got planned out some content I want to take, some Instagram content, but in terms of making this week, I just want to focus on making a bunch of mugs. I'm starting today by making handles. They're very wet and floppy right now. I really love the design of the swirls, even though they're time consuming. So as I mentioned, it's been a little bit difficult to say that I've been struggling with my art practice because it means admitting that I'm falling behind, even though that's not true. I'm not falling behind because there's no set timeline for these kinds of things. But being a Virgo perfectionist, being hard on myself, of course, I'm going to have high standards to hold myself to. Lately, I've been feeling a lot like everybody else has this secret rule book or guidebook that I don't have access to. How they edit their videos, how they make their thumbnails to be successful, how they create things with clay, how they buy a kiln, how they glaze their pieces. It feels like everybody just has this secret knowledge that I'm not aware of and I'm just making things up as I go. And I feel like I am like a fake version of all of these professionals. I guess that was a really terrible way of me trying to describe my imposter syndrome. No, it's just called imposter syndrome. That's how I've kind of been feeling lately. It's not very fun. These are so tedious to make. Oh my God. I am conscious of the fact as well that I've been in quite a negative mindset recently, coming on here and complaining about all of the things that are going wrong in my life. I mean, on one hand, I do think it is important to acknowledge the season of your life that you're in. But at a certain point, it's just like everyone's going through tough times. So that's what's been on my mind. If you're someone that's also going through an artist block or stuck in a rut like me, well, let's work through it together. I think definitely step one is taking some time out like I did yesterday at the cafe and sort of just having a quiet moment to be like, okay, this is where we're at. I'm going to admit it. What can we do about it? What is the next right step? Even just one step. And then just do anything. I know that sounds crazy and really broad, but even if it's just scribbling on a sheet of paper, just moving and taking tiny steps. So I'm going to just continue making these handles here. After this, I'm going to go take myself out for matcha, bring my journal and my new book because today is actually the anniversary of my mum's passing. I didn't just want to get through the day without thinking about it. I wanted to have a moment of mindfulness, I guess. Feeling okay now, but I never know how these kinds of feelings of grief might show up. So I'm going to use clay as my therapy today. I have one print order to pack today and it's actually for my angel print, my Liangeli print. I made this for my mum, so I think that's very apt that I have an order for this today. The person that ordered it left a really lovely order note. This is actually their second order in a few days, I'm pretty sure. So Marty, if that's you, thank you so much. I'm including a little sticker sheet which is actually sold out. This is from my personal collection. So I hope you enjoy it.
You say it happens all the time. You say don't worry, that's just life. The flower never grows. I guess I don't know.
I spent the rest of the afternoon making mugs. I'm still teaching myself this new slab building technique, which is kind of difficult to do on a large scale with my tiny desk space, but it's still more efficient than hand building, and I love the look of the mugs with my exaggerated swirl handles. So let me know what you guys think of them.
I guess I don't know. The sun it never rose. The flower never grows. I guess I don't know how it
Not as.
A bubble tea or a yoga afterwards. Here's my review. Why line up for 18th Street when you can just go to Dragon Hot Pot and get the same thing through the normal instant? The Botanic Gardens because I decided to take myself out for another little solo date today. I really needed it. Yesterday wasn't such a good day, so I've got my journal and my book, which by the way, I'm really loving this book so far. I think I mentioned it's my first Rachel Cusk, but I'm almost finished and I'm hurrying to get it done because my copy of Intermezzo by Sally Rooney arrives today, so I'm so excited to read that. I'm actually going to go to the bookshop after this, even though I ordered the book online, but I'm just going to have a look if I can get the next in the trilogy. I was talking to Paul the other day about one of my insecurities, which is the fact that sometimes I really don't feel smart enough, or that my art and what I'm interested in isn't like high art enough. Oh my gosh, I just saw a duck chase after a man. That's so funny. I guess it's sort of another form of imposter syndrome, but sometimes I hear people talk about all these books that they've read, films they've watched, things they've studied, and I just feel like I don't know enough of the important things in the world. That's one of the reasons why I picked up this book. I was like, let me read something that smart people are reading right now. That's why I went to the art gallery today. It's really interesting today to get sort of a brief look at some of these artworks, like some Italian hand-painted bowls from the 1500s and some gorgeous impressionist paintings that now coming here to the garden. I can imagine how they were observing the light and the movement around them, and how incredible the way that they conveyed that through paint and colour is. So I think this was a good artist date. I'm gonna just spend a little bit of time in my daily journal entry and maybe reading a little bit, but I do have to get back and get some work done. Those are my little musings for today. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my artist day. I'm back home and look what just arrived in the mail. Oh my god, so excited. I'm obsessed with the cover of this. I know I was just in the bookstore looking at it, but I had already pre-ordered it online, so prepare to be sick of me posting about this book. Is anyone else obsessed with the smell of books as well? I'll obviously have an update for you guys on this one in the next couple of videos. As you can see, I'm back in the studio, and yesterday I didn't speak to you. I was having a terrible day. I didn't speak to anyone, but what I did do was make a bunch of mugs. So I've got 12 in total now, which doesn't sound like a lot. To me, that's pretty good for 2 days work. This is the form that I've been perfecting at the moment. For someone like me who has this tiny home studio with no slab roller and yeah, not much room, be able to make 12 of these mugs in a couple of days while I'm just still trialing the shape and the technique. That's pretty good for me. So I'm pretty proud of myself. You know, I'm taking that as a small win. I'm really excited for this to be my new signature mug shape because I don't know, I just love it so much. I think it's a little bit more refined. They're still all, I mean, you might not be able to tell, but they still have these imperfections and little quirks that make them unique. Also been refining my stamping on the bottom because I got a new stamp a little while ago. And I read on a random ceramics forum that apparently if you use cornstarch, it makes it easier to leave like a really distinct shape of your stamp in the clay, especially if, like me, you're stamping it while it's still quite wet. I'm gonna decorate them in my normal like blue and white style, but I think these would look so great with stripes as well, but I do have other striped mugs that I'm working on. So looking at my to-do list for the rest of the day, I've just sent off some UGC work that I had to get done, so I'm really glad that that's all done. The main thing I'm going to be working on for the rest of the day is planning some Instagram posts for my comeback to Studio Sogni. Really struggling with at the moment. So let's see how I go with that. You guys will see how I go in about 1 second. Just getting ready because I think I'm going to head to the beach. Please excuse my appearance right now. I spent pretty much the whole of the morning and the start of this afternoon doing a little shoot for some trinket dishes that I just made on the side. An idea just popped into my head, so I just wanted to act on it before it got too late. It turned out pretty cute in the end, so Those will be up at the same time as my trinket chair, my seggiolina, which means like little kids chair in Italian. I'm gonna bring this to the beach and like a couple of props, but we'll see if I end up shooting her. Just got a delivery in from Summer Fridays as well. And this is their sheer skin tint. I've heard so many good things about this, so let's try it. I'm not sure if this is the right shade for me, but we'll see. I've always wanted to try it after seeing people's get ready with me on TikTok where they're like putting it all over their face. That marketing really works on me. Wow, it feels really nice. Might be a little bit light for me because I just fake tanned. Sometimes I find these light skin tints can be a bit patchy. That was delightful to apply. I have really bad under eye bags. And someone commented on my last video that I look 34. Now that is one hate comment. I don't get hate comments often, thankfully, but that is one comment that sent me into a spiral. Yeah, that's been on my mind this week. That's all I'm gonna put on, and I'm just putting my cap on my little seat, and then have to pack my book. I'm just gonna wear a crossbody bag, I think. My house is an absolute mess from all of that shooting. I look crazy, but we're going undercover, ready to go. Let's go to the beach. By the end of this week, I still wasn't feeling myself, but looking back and editing this video, I can truly see how much of a change the tiny steps I took during these days made. I don't think I'm exactly out of the woods yet, but I feel refreshed and reinvigorated and ready to tackle this next chapter in my art practice. Right now, I feel endlessly grateful for this platform. Without YouTube and without creating these little video diaries, I don't think I'd be able to look back on things so clearly. So as always, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. See you in the next one.